Alright, so the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting our grids and levels. Again, the information about the grids and levels is available down in the description. Right, so we're going to use that information to set our grids. So we're going to go to the architecture tab and all the way across to the right hand side. Please note that I am using Revit 2021 for this activity here. So your display might be a little bit different, but you can look for similar icons or the word grid. So we're going to click grid, and basically we're just drawing lines that represent our grid. You're going to use a document provided below to ensure that you are following the measurements in said assignment. So our first grid is going to be, well, all our grids are going to be within these 4 points or 4 elevation points here. So we just start by going from bottom to the top. The length of the grid at this point doesn't really matter, right? But we're going to change the number here from 1 to the letter A, capital A, right? And then we're simply going to draw the next grid in line with where we started, all the way up here, and you'll see that it automatically changes to B. And then our next grid here is going to be C. Note that when I start drawing, some measurements come up, so you can actually, if you know what the measurement is beforehand, you can actually just drag your mouse across to find the correct measurement. But I'm going to show you a different way that I find is much simpler. So A, B, and C, 3 grids. Press escape, and now we need to adjust the dimensions or measurements between the grids. So to do that, I'm going to go up to my quick access tab up here and select aligned dimension. And I'm just going to click all 3 grids, A, B, and C. And to place the dimension, I'm just going to click somewhere on the outside. Now I want to move B closer to A. And it's important that you select the grid that you want to move, right? So I'm going to click B and notice that my dimensions change to a blue color, which means that I can now edit that dimension. So I can click on that dimension and change the measurement to what it's supposed to be, which is 3,900. And then grid B moves exactly 3,900 millimeters away from A. Then I want to move C closer to B, and the measurement is 3,750. So I click on C, which is the one I want to move, and go 3,750. The reason why I do it like this is because you're going to be required to dimension your grids anyways afterwards. So it makes sense to just place your grids, place some dimensions there, and then adjust it accordingly. The next set of grids that we need are the ones that go vertically, 1 all the way down to, what is it now? All the way down to 7. Okay, so we're going to go again to grid, and we're just going to select any point below where ABC is, right? And we have it as D. We want to change that to the number 1. Now we're going down again, and we're just going to go across 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, right? And now we're going to just dimension them coming down. So starting from the top, we want to adjust 2 to where 1 is, and so on. So 2 is 1,950, so I just click on 2, 1,950. There we go. 3 is 5,550 from 2. Have a bit of an issue here. I'm just going to drag down the rest of my grids. I'm going to click 4, 6, 7, 6, 5, and so on. I'm going to drag them down so that when I'm adjusting 3, when I'm adjusting grid 4, it's measuring from 3 coming down. If I had let it stay above 3, it would have moved up closer to 2. So click 4. That measurement is 2100. 5 is 4 is 2550. 5 is 2100 from 4. 6 is 2250 from 5. And 7 is 1800 from 6. Right? And those are our grids. Now you might have noticed that whenever I draw the grids, I try to ensure that they are in line with each other, or they are locked in place. This is to help when I'm adjusting my grids. So if I need to move one a little bit further, all of them, a little bit further out or closer, I just click on any one of the grids, click on this little circle here that has the lock attached to it, and then I can just drag it in and out according to what the preference is. Same thing with this end, I can drag in and out. They're not locked in place, so now they're locked in place. So now all of them adjust at the same time. If you want your grid bubbles to show at both ends of the line, you can just click on the grid line and just tick this little box here to get the bubble on the other end of the line. Okay, next we're going to set our levels, and to do that we need to go to a elevation view. So we have east, north, south. I usually just go with south, which is the front of the building. And you'll notice that we already have some given levels, some starting levels in the project. We can edit these levels and also add additional levels. Right, so starting with level 1 or 0, we're going to rename this level here. From level 1, we're going to change it to 01 underscore GL. When it asks you, would you like to rename corresponding views, you're going to say yes. And notice that in your project browser under floor plans, level 1 has changed to 01 underscore GL. And then the level right above GL is 02 underscore first floor. And the measurement for that above GL is 150. So I'm going to click on level 2, call it 02 underscore first floor. And then, yes, I would like to rename corresponding views. Measurement is 150. And notice that the grid line has now adjusted down to 150. So I should measure, up here beside align dimension, and measure between the grid lines. The measurement is now exactly 150 millimeters. Oh, also, let me adjust my scale to 1 to 50. That's what it's supposed to be. All right, so I'm going to add the other grids now. Not grids, levels, sorry. So we go to level 1, architecture tab, level right above grid or beside grid, depending on what version you're using. Starting right in line with the end of the existing grids, we're going to do the first level that we're creating ourselves, which is the foundation level. And by default, it will be called level 3, but we're going to rename it 00 underscore foundation. And the measurement for that is negative -600 because it's below ground level. I'm going to quickly do the others going up above ground level, we have 03 underscore foundation, sorry, floor level, 03 underscore second floor, architecture level, yes, and the measurement is 3000. And then we have the last level, which is wall height. For this one, I'm just going to I'm going to use my cursor to make sure I get to 3000 millimeters above the last level. There we go. And see, now I'm at exactly 6000 millimeters above the ground level. So this one is called 04 underscore wall height, 6000 millimeters. Yes. And now if we go to our project browser, we can see all the levels that we have created there under floor plans, some of them under structural plans, and under ceiling plans as well. If we look at where we have first floor and ground level, we notice that they are overlapping each other, which is going to be difficult to read. To fix that issue, you just click on any one of the level lines, and there's a little break line here. Well, add elbow it says. We click on that, and then we can now adjust by clicking these blue dots to drag it up. Right? Drag it up. You can do the same thing for foundation to drag it down a little bit. Note that when we adjust it like this, the measurement between the levels does not change, just the position afterwards and the dimension. Okay, just like your grids, when you click on any level, you notice that this little circle comes up again. We can use this to drag the level bubbles inward. There we go, so that they're a little bit closer. And the reason why all of them move is because they're all locked to each other. And just like your grids, when I click on the level line, I can just click this little box here to get the bubble on the other side of the line. And of course, to your tick, you can just do this little break line thing here to make it a little bit more readable. Now, once you have created your levels in one view, if we should navigate to another elevation view like the east view, the levels are already there. And same thing for the west view, right? So in the next video, we're going to learn how to add walls to our drawing.